give me something, please leave nothing out. Tell me a story from your. Make me a good guy, not a woulda, shoulda, could guy. Make me a story from your mouth. Make me a villain now, won't that just be thrilling? No, make me a story from your. Yesterday I was walking down the street and a lady came out of a shop and we bumped, almost collided, and she said, "Shall we dance?" And I would like to tell you I waltzed down the main street with her, but we didn't. But we did chat for a while. Today is a similar invitation in a way. It's an invitation. We're not dancing around anything, but in a way we are, because we can't talk directly about it. We can only point towards it. We can't say it. We can't know it. We can't understand it. And incredibly, we can't escape from it, because it's actually all there is.
Hi, Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth. It's Peace.
Oh yeah.
Hi. Good morning. Just saying hi.
Oh, just saying hi. Okay. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Oh, is let's see, the girl from Wisconsin, Kalili or someone, is she there by chance? Or let's see. I don't see her today.
Wisconsin, anyone?
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
I don't see her online. Thank you. I'll let's see if she comes, but that could be close to where I live, sort of, like within a few hours. No worries. Thanks.
No worries. I give you the mic because you're the keeper of the mic. That's your job, I think. Is to. You're not really sorry, are you?
There's a letter in yesterday's newspaper about a woman complaining about people eating crisps on the train.
Okay. About the noise.
What?
The noise of
About
it.
the noise, yeah.
Ah. We're going to have to start again now.
If no one wants to go, I try.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Would you say there's a difference regarding the possibility of an apparent energetic resonance, whether you are in a room or via Zoom, and then via Zoom in London or via Zoom on the apparent other side of the world, or doesn't it matter at all? So it's more the words, or it's more like an energetic component in what's said?
Oh, the people in the room are getting the best value for money for sure. They're popping all over the place. Bum, bum, bum.
But they're also paying more, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, being, which do you prefer, talking to a friend on the phone or sitting down with them and having a conversation, you know? So,
Lately, I don't talk much to friends anymore.
okay, there you go. Maybe it's a bad example. You don't have any friends, so. When it resonates, it just resonates. And whether that's over Zoom or it's in a meeting, it just resonates. But there is something about gathering together in a group in a room, yeah, for sure. Energetically. So
Can I ask something personal as well?
can you ask what?
Something personal?
No.
Just no. I still do. Is there is there is there any of this communication of the topic in your family life? Like just like you can't tell your kids yet you are no one. How's that gonna work?
Stop. I gave you the answer. So there's nothing personal in this. There's nothing personal in this. What's being talked about here. So trying to apply something personal is just ridiculous. What's being spoken about, what's being yearned for is completely, totally, and utterly impersonal. I don't have anything, you don't have anything. So there you go. I don't talk about it. I'm not talking. You're not talking. There's just what's appearing to happen.
It's like coming to whatever meeting or Zoom meetings and expecting a different result than the previous one and the previous one and the previous one. It's like still hitting the head on the brick wall, expecting that it doesn't hurt or whatever.
Yeah. I think it is, yeah. Because it's nothing to do with what you expect or you imagine. Because that's you thinking that you're going to get something out of the meeting. So that's going to disappoint.
It seems to just happen naturally, being compelled to listen over and over again. It just seems to be almost, beyond one's will, but there's no will.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's being drawn to just listen. And you can't explain why.
Yeah, it's just what's happening. It's just what's appearing to happen. A resonance with what's meetings, just appearing to want to listen to meetings, and it's funny that could just follow, just gone, perhaps. But the amazing thing is there is no you there that's going to the meeting. And if the meetings if it was like, oh, I'm not going to any meetings in person or on Zoom, that would actually just be what's appearing to happen also. Whereas there's a sense the individual has that they're attending. It's so, I hear this all the time. Why do I keep coming to the meetings? Why am I? Someone said to me last year, I think if this time next year I'm on a fucking Kenneth Madden Zoom meeting, I just think I'll fucking top myself. Well, don't mind me anyway. It's this sense like, oh, like I keep coming back, and why am I back? And the amazing thing is, you don't actually. You're not there that you're coming to the meeting, and if there's frustration around it, and it continually kind of, as you said, not the invitation is that it is the frustration. Frustration is what's appearing to happen. So when there's it's commonly known as when your head's in the lion's mouth or whatever, then that's what's happening. It doesn't seem to be like much interest in anything else actually sometimes, other than this sharing. Whatever gob it's coming out of doesn't really matter, but a clear one, Yeah. But it can just be seen that you're not doing it, and it doesn't matter. It's just what's appearing to happen. There's no need to go to another meeting, and there's no you that's going or not going. And it's also like, it's all so utterly, stunningly simple that it's so inescapable. It's just life. There's just aliveness.
So used to automatically reflect on something that is said as if it had meaning, it's like it comes automatically. Not asking question, but just like pondering or whatever it's like.
And that's what's up. That's what's happening.
And a young child wouldn't be here, they'd just be playing, crying.
Well, you're not
There's-
here. You're not here. you're, you're just holding the mic and laughing and. You know, like, I mean, if there's a sense of looking at a young child and, oh, young child don't feel separate, and but you're not there either. When when we all get all grown up and when you feel like an adult, you feel, what did I lose? There was something when I was a kid. There was something there. Like, what did I lose? I kind of lost it. It was, I can't put my finger on it, but like, I've lost it. And this is what I used to think about this when I became a young man. There's something different. Like, what have I lost? What is it that I've lost? Because I've lost something. And incredibly then, it can be seen, I didn't lose anything. I gained something more, the story of me just got more kind of solidified. So that's what we're suggesting. Nothing has ever been lost. So that childlike wonder of, is there, but it's overlaid, and it's overlaid with the story of me, who is then
Yeah, because I kind of see them in the school playground, day after day, and just think, what? Yeah, can't really work out the difference, but when they're just running around being a bit mental and
yeah.
but there's a kind of freedom, isn't there?
Freedom, yeah.
There's an utter freedom, and the play and the interaction, and I look at it in wonderment sometimes. Just
Yeah. Yeah, there's energetically, like, they're not really turning into individuals, but energetically it seems to be, when you go from being a younger child to older, it all gets a bit more contracted and a bit more. No, you have to comport yourself a bit more and conduct yourself. Behave. You're expected to behave more. Like, there's more kind of about you as an individual then, and it's an energetic contraction, and then you pop out the other end of puberty as a young adult, really, and then you're on your bike now. It's your life now, so make something of it. And that's the game we're all playing. So it's all just an energetic appearance. There's not really an individual there. But we see that with smaller kids, or especially younger kids. There's this kind of a spontaneity and a wildness that we're intrigued by. Yeah. And that's there also. That's there also.
what that's saying.
Yeah, no, but it hasn't actually been lost. We're not talking about you finding something like childlike wonder. There is childlike wonder, but it's overlaying the childlike wonder is this story called me, and the adult and the sense of being a separate individual who has a life is knowing then. So that's what's overlaying it, is this loop of knowing. You're knowing about you and your life and knowing about the world. And then we kind of mistakenly think that the reason the children had the childlike wonder is they just didn't know how cruel the world is and how they were just innocent but it's actually that the knowing is the energy of me being separate. Knowing the unknowable, this is unknowable. It's just whatever is appearing. And then going around that loop of knowing, and then the dissatisfaction.
then what?
The dissatisfaction.
Dissatisfaction.
Yeah, because the lived reality of feeling like you have a life is a dissatisfying reality, because it's a half alive thing, because it's actually unknowable. So there's there's like a staleness, I suppose is the word. It becomes like a staleness to life, because I know it's Sunday afternoon now. Sunday, I know Sunday afternoons. I work tomorrow. I forgot, I better put a wash on. What time is that? What time Coronation Street on? You know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or, do you know what, I go for a drink. You're living in knowing, and everything feels knowable. And when it feels in that, there's a staleness and a second-handness to it, and the newness can't be seen. Because Sunday afternoon is a story. There is no repetition. You know, there's some quote that I read years ago. There's no repetition, only the wish for repetition to familiarize the present, or whatever it is. And that's essentially it. Like nothing repeats, like, but you, in your reality as an individual, you've a lived sense of things repeating. And then because you know it, oh, I know this, I know Hampstead, yeah. You know, I've been to Hampstead loads of times. No, well, do you? What are you meeting when you go to Hampstead? And there is no Hampstead, really. There's the appearance of Hampstead, so it's real and unreal. But you think of it, you treat it like an object, a separate object, that's a thing that you relate to then. And you're just in this loop of knowing, and you don't see actually how things actually are, which is unknowable and new. Everything is new. There's no repetition at all, ever, because everything is and it isn't. And it's always new, completely new. But if you're in knowing, the newness is not, it cannot be seen. Yeah.
So Kenneth, what's your daily life?
Okay, I wake up at 4:30. I do a cold plunge bath. I write free writing first. Then I center. Then I meditate. Then I cycle my bike, and I get sunlight. I just get sunlight directly. Very important to get the sunlight directly. I don't have coffee for the first few hours, and then I have a very, you know what I mean? Nonsense. This is the sort of stuff you hear. I don't have anything. I don't have
plan
a daily life.
any day.
I don't have a life. You don't have a life. So if I give you, this is what we do. We go like the diary of a CEO is the first thing. Tell me your daily routine. And people fucking love that shit. And then they're all getting up. I don't know, so at some stage you're not going to be going to bed at all, because they're all trying to outdo each other. First it was 5, then it was fucking 4:30. Then the next guy's, I get up at 3:30. And the next guy's, I actually get up at 1. And, you know, it's like, you know, and everyone finds it so impressive, because this person is special, because they are the CEO of a $1 billion company. It's fucking amazing. Tell me your daily life so I can learn from you, and maybe I can be a billionaire. You know, it's just a dream. It's a story. Nobody has a daily life. It's just a story they're telling you to lay down a grid on something that's not knowable. Habits appear to happen, routines appear to happen, but they're just an appearance. So this whole afternoon is the illumination that I don't have a daily life, and you don't have a daily life. You don't have a life. You don't have. You're not there with your life, because you're not there. There's just holding that microphone, aliveness, body, and holding that microphone. That's all there is. There's just aliveness, and that's what can be seen.
So is anything happening?
No. You're good, you are. Hey, she's our new individual. You're fired. You're the new one. There's nothing happening. I like the way we're getting to the heart of it.
So there's no way I can plan anything.
A planning appears, but then you think you're planning.
Okay.
So if planning, like an email is sent, oh, where's good in Hampstead? Someone says Philadelphia, an email sent. I'd like to book a room. The email comes back, yeah, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. And then if you feel like an individual, you feel that you're doing all of that. And then what happens is, or appears to happen, is you feel you've made it happen. So then I feel, I would feel like this is my meeting and I made it happen, and you know what I mean? And it's all a story. So planning appears like a flight appears to get booked, all of these things, and then you're adding yourself to everything then. And this is nothing appearing to happen. I mean, get your head around that. How can you understand that? You cannot understand that. You can have some concept about it, about nothing appearing to happen, but all that is just a concept. This is nothing appearing as a meeting in a room in Hampstead in London. And actually all it is aliveness, rooming, and it's aliveness is everything. Infinite, eternal, unconditional love. And it's just too obvious. It's too ordinary and obvious. And we think, we feel that we're in the room in Hampstead, and then we know that we're in the room in Hampstead, and we live in a loop of our own knowing until we don't. But when we feel like we're in that, there's a yearning from that, and that's what's being addressed this afternoon. That actually what's being yearned for is just not anything but what's appearing to happen. So the realness, really, essentially, you could sum it up by the real. When you feel like you have a life, you're living only in the real. You're real. I'm talking to you. You're real. Everything's really happening. It's 4:10, but it's really 3:00. It's 4:00, but it's really 3:00. Because the clock went forward. I used to drive my mother mad with that. I'd do it for days, and then she'd just shout at me and say, "Just stop talking. I cannot listen to it any longer." I'd keep looking at the clock on. So it's 6:00, but it's really 5:00 now. And she'd just say, "Kenneth, get over yourself. It's 6:00, and that's it. We've been over this 50 times." I remember, it's so funny, I totally remember that. But no, it's really 5:00. It's kind of a game.
I love the people who say I get an hour extra and all them kind of things.
Oh, yeah. Did we get an hour extra, Alvin?
Not this time, but when they go back.
Maybe we did, though, because me and Alvin usually go on some excursion and arrive with about 2 minutes to set up the computer. And today we got here in time, so maybe that was our extra hour. You guys lost an hour, we gained an hour. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you how. Don't think about it too much. But we know how to hack the system to. Yeah. But anyway, what I was saying is, it's the shift from everything is real. You're living in the real. There's a you and real. To there's just what's appearing to happen. And if you are, as an individual, are living in the real, nothing isn't seen because there's just something. So it's a subject-object reality. All you can see is something. Time is a thing, space is a thing, you're a thing, the chair is a thing, my experience when I was on holidays when 7 is a thing, this is a thing, that's it. Just things, experiences, states, things, objects, real. And what's yearned for is for there not to be two, the real and this thing called the unreal, life and death, life and my life. What's actually yearned for is just wholeness. And the big joke is all there is fucking wholeness, and all there ever has been is wholeness. So the real is, there's no real and unreal. Real and unreal are one, because nothing is everything, and everything is nothing. So it's in that, as you correctly said, so nothing's happening. That's exactly it. This is nothing appearing to happen then. There's just aliveness then. That was a very long-winded answer, and I need a break after that. Can I have a tea break?
I didn't understand.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Neither did I. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it's the one meeting you come to where it could be not a word. What's that fast show? Not a word. Not a word. It doesn't matter. It's all about, you could fall asleep at this meeting. It wouldn't matter. It's not about knowing, there's nothing to take away from this meeting. Whereas as an individual, logically, you're in a reality where I'm going to meet and I want to get something from it. But it's possible that your sense of being somebody who wants to get something can collapse. It could be that it could collapse, and it could be seen that there's actually just aliveness, which is unconditional love, and that's nothing to do with knowing or understanding.
Ken.
Oh, hi, yeah.
Hi. Are you done? That was all incredible, and I just love hearing it. But how did you get this understanding? And I know there's no you, but
I'm not taking any buts for the last hour. You know, that was in the email. Yeah, so there's no question with but in the question for the last hour.
I don't know what a bot is.
A but, B-U-T.
B-U-T. Oh, a butt. Okay.
Yeah. So you're not. I'm not taking any butt questions for the last. Oh, it's amazing. And what you said there is gorgeous, but the butt is banned.
Okay. Well,
I'm only teasing him. I'm just joking him.
I know. I just feel like I
Give me the
love
butt.
what you're
What's the butt?
saying. I just want the understanding you have. And I know there's no I. I know it's just Aliveness who wants this, but Aliveness would love this. And what happened to you that you arrived in this, or not you? I'm the second new individual here.
No, you can be our virtual individual, and we have our
I'll be the
real
individual. Absolutely, I am.
Well done, you. I have no idea what you asked there. I'm trying to figure out some sort of. I have no idea what you even asked. Oh yeah, how did I get? I didn't. Nothing happened to me, and nothing's going to happen to you because there's no you there for something to happen to. And you don't arrive at at wholeness because all there is wholeness. So this is completely simple and ordinary and absolutely impossible for the individual, because it's the individual is effectively, you could say, trying to use time to find eternity.
Yeah.
So how can we, like, if let's say I just said all there is eternity, and let's do 10 minutes meditation. So we're going to start with 10 minutes of meditation and focus on our breathing. Then we're going to do 10 minutes of mindful awareness. Do you know, just see, like, and then it'd be like the Emperor's New Clothes. You'd get someone to put up their hand and say, this might seem silly, but I thought, is eternity no time? So why are we using 10 minutes to, you know, and a teacher would rubbish their hands and go, oh, you don't understand. But that's effectively it. Like that's what you do as an individual. You're trying to use time to find eternity. How can you use time to find eternity? There's just eternity. Eternity is no time. So that's the same as the individual trying to do something to not be an individual. Do you see how that works out? It goes like that, look.
Yeah.
And your question is absolutely, it's not your question, and it's just what's appearing to happen, but it's logical. It's completely logical. And what's being said here is completely illogical. You know, it's completely logical that you would say, as an apparent individual, well, how did you arrive at this realization? I mean, it's the first thing that most people ask. Well, how did you arrive at this realization? Because that's the reality we're in, is you must have learned something to get somewhere. And you're calling it wholeness, is it? What's this wholeness thing you're talking about? And how can I get to wholeness? Can you tell me how I can get to wholeness? Please, I'd love to get to wholeness. And it's like it can't be heard that the message is, no, did you not hear what I said? This is wholeness. Oh yeah, I hear what you're saying. No, I know what you're saying, but like I just like to get to that wholeness place you're talking about.
You know why it is? Well, because I don't experience it as wholeness, obviously.
It's not an experience. So there you go. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. You're a good virtual individual, actually.
Thanks,
If
thanks.
what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna give awards out for the best individual, and I'll send you a thing in the post. But it's not an experience. So the individual has experiences. The individual extracts an experience from feeling separate, and so therefore there's what's happening and there's me that it's happening to, and in that lovely little gap, I am having an experience. So when there's no sense of a me, there's nobody who has an experience because there's nobody there to have an experience. So an experience is a dream in the dualistic dream of being an individual. It's a story, in other words.
Oh, what you say resonates, so I know it's true.
It's not.
It's just not.
Well, it's not true, like in the sense that true and not true is also within the story, because it's within knowing that's, I believe you, it's true. Well, that's just another story then.
Well, it's music to my ears, but can I ask this? Did you used to, before the reality was obvious to you, or whatever fell upon your whatever you're doing, where you know that it's
I love the way you're trying to get around it.
right, sidestep it, but were you
Yeah, I love the sidestep, and that's exactly it.
Yeah. Were you
Yeah,
like
the dance.
were you a meditator, or did you have a spiritual teacher, or did this just fall upon you one day?
No, I went to India, and I went to an ashram, and I studied deeply at the feet of my guru, and I watched them on a daily basis for 5 years, and he transmitted through his big toes an immutable reality that went into every cell in my body.
Okay.
So if you want to get to where I am, I can give you the address of the place.
Yeah,
The problem is
exactly.
his feet are fucking stink, and you have to deal with that. So if you can get through the smelliness of his feet, then you'll get there. You know, I mean, there's no way to arrive at where you already are. So anybody who's speaking clearly would be very clear that they're not speaking, that it's just a sharing, it's from nothing. And what they would be very, very clear about is that nothing happened to me. It wasn't, it was a loss of the idea that there was a me, that something could happen. So if we call it liberation, right? It's despite anything you feel you've done before, despite it, despite cycling your bike and meditating, and God knows what else you'd be doing. I don't know. Do you know? Because that's the reality of you having a life, doing something and doing another thing, and then bingo, I'm liberated. That's great. So what happened to you? Do you tell me that them steps to, it's like this? It's completely unimaginable. This is to the individual. Is just because the individual is in that reality of one thing happening, another thing. So something must have happened to you.
Yeah.
That's clear, is it?
I mean, I know that's how my mind is thinking. You're absolutely or the mind or
this communication is completely, totally different to what we're accustomed to. Like we're accustomed to someone telling us something and what they did to get there. So this is totally, it just bamboozles the mind. It's like, what? It can't be imagined, but yet it's totally simple. It's just simply whatever's appearing to happen.
Okay, I I do believe you, but thank you. It's so frustrating that I can't do anything to get it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, it's gorgeously frustrating. It's this whole weekend it's so beautifully futile. It's
Yeah.
beautifully futile. Like how can you find what already is? How can you know? And that frustration is it. It can just be seen that frustration, because frustration is what's appearing to happen, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's wholeness then, as frustration.
Okay. That no, that makes sense. Um, thanks.
Well, thank
I'll,
you.
yeah, I'll listen and be the virtual individual.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kenneth, yeah, when you were talking about time just then, we had builders in our home for a few months, and plumbers and electricians, and they've all finished recently. And I do sometimes kind of a question comes, were they here, these guys? Were they in my little barn? They were here day after day, and they've done the job.
So when I say eternity, you think of builders.
Yeah, it made me think of the builders. But so I come downstairs in the morning, so it's all done. I think, were they here? You know.
What I would say is that they were and they weren't.
Okay.
You know, you could say they were and they weren't. But you're, as an individual, you're only in the were part. You're in the real. That's what I mean when I say you're in the real. Stuff is really happening. You know, one thing after another, and it's an appearance, actually. So it's an appearance that aliveness. Put it this way: aliveness appeared as builders taken forever.
Yeah, pulling it apart.
Yeah, and appearing to pull apart and reconstruct. So that's aliveness appeared as that. So there's the lived reality as an individual would be that started on April 2nd and it went all the way through to April, May, June, July, you know, into the August, and we started finishing up at the end of August, and it felt like an eternity and blah, blah, blah. So that would be a lived reality. You're living in the real. There really is. I can see the work they've done, and it feels like that. And then another possibility is that there's just aliveness, and aliveness appeared as builders and pulling down and pushing up and boom, boom, boom. And it's only appearing to happen in time and space. Time and space are just an overlay or a story. So I think it's interesting what you're saying though, because you keep hitting on things that there's an energy to that, like just like you said with the girl coming for the piano lessons, or the boy, the child, or whoever, it doesn't matter. There's some energetically, there was a sense that, was there even a last week? Like you know, and that's what I mean when I say this is a resonance. This is just energetically sensed. It's just completely about a resonance, an energetic sense of unknowing. And then you're not in this one who knows and concept anymore. There's just the free fall of what's appearing to happen. And it is unknowable. It's clearly just so immediately just this, that, and it can appear as builders, frustration with builders, and the delight of, oh God, they did a good job, that's great. And it appears as a memory, a thought that we call a memory of the builders having done work. And it's all just aliveness. Yeah?
But also, would you say that memories contribute to the illusion in some way?
Well, memories are just thoughts with a different quality to them. Yeah, it's just but it's a thought that has a quality to it that in the mind of the apparent individual emanates from a place called the past.
Yeah.
So it's a really felt sense that it has a quality for the individual that's different to, oh, I wonder do we have enough milk at home? So do I need to buy milk? I better ask, do we have milk at home? So there's a thought of, I wonder, that will feel different to, God, that memory. Do you remember that time we were kids and we went out there, and that was, for the individual, that would feel like a country in the past, is a different kind of feel to it. And because it is a different energetic feel to it, it feels like one is just a thought that arose about milk, and the other is about a real thing that really happened in the real past. So the past is just actually just a story. It's a construct. There's no present. There's no future. There's no present. Like there's no time. There's just aliveness. It's too obvious. That's all there is. And so it's the same, but then it's.
So it's often said. So I heard it said a lot. It never happened.
Yeah.
We think never happened.
It's a story. It's a story, yeah.
But there still seem to be a lot of other me's who collude in confirming that happened.
Yeah, it has the quality. The story has the quality that there's an object of reality in which we are all kind of access to. So if we were all on a bus now, we go sightseeing on the bus around Hampstead, and the bus crashes, and we all have this collective shared experience, and it kind of reaffirms, oh, this event really happened because we were all there. And if we all did an interview straight after the bus crashed, then we did another one in a week and another one in a month and another one in a year, we'd have however many different realities. They'd all be different. It's amazing. Loads of scientists do studies on this, and what they've come to the conclusion is It's all, everyone is in their own reality. But being in your own reality is a quality of it, that it's all a shared reality. And we talk to each other about like, oh, do you remember when that happened? As if it was just this neutral thing that happened. But that person's experience of it is so wildly different than yours. You know, did you ever go and do a trip with a friend and you come back and the friend starts telling the story and then you start shaking your head, oh, for fuck's sake. What are you talking? I went to Australia with a friend of mine and then we meet up the other friends and he goes, oh, for what the fuck are you talking about? Were you there at all? I used to be saying to him, were you there at all? That's not how it happened. And then there'd be this big row. It was hilarious, really, because he'd have it, and in my reality, he had it arseways. And in his reality, I had it arseways. So who's right? Nobody, because all we're talking about is our lived reality, which is only an appearance. That's what we're talking about all afternoon. But it doesn't feel like an appearance. It doesn't feel like a story for the individual. It feels totally real. That's the solidity of what we're talking about. When you feel like an individual, there's this solid realness to it, because you're real. The chair is a solid, real thing. I'm looking at the chair. Everything is an object to my subject, living in the real, and it's dissatisfying, hugely dissatisfying, because really all there wants to be is just the chair, not me looking at the chair or me looking at the sunset. And then when there is a sunset, me looking at, oh, that's a beautiful sunset, that's special. I put some meaning on it and blah, blah, blah. So another possibility is that instead of everything being real, and that it can just be seen, there's nothing required, right? There's no knowledge required. There's no process. There's nothing to be done. It can just be seen that there's just aliveness. And it's all a story, that you are a story, everything that's happening is a story. So it will appear that way, and we will appear to have cause and effect. I'll pick up a stone, I'll throw it out the window, the glass will appear to break, and so on. But the lived sense that I did that, and the linear sense of it just collapses. And it's just another thing that appears to happen. And then it's just living in unknowing. All there is liberation. It's so obvious that there's no other separate individual, because there's no me. It's very clear. There's no one else. There's nobody who's separate. But then people talk and say, "Oh well, what about me? What about you? Yeah, what about me with my life?" You're looking puzzled. I think we'll make you the individual again.
I'm not puzzled.
I know, I'm just joking around.
You're a wind-up.
I am a wind-up merchant.
I was going to say merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you took the word right out of my mouth.
There's just a playfulness with this. It's just whatever. There's an absolute passion for this here that's not actually my passion. And it's just there. It's total in loveness with this communication from when I first heard it. And that in loveness is the same now as when it was first heard, because there is no 13 years ago really, and it's all a story. But and also you see, it's always new here as well. So there's always it's not like something you know as a concept, and I'm like, oh, non-duality, don't talk to me about non-duality. I've been teaching that shit for years. I know all about it. Do you know what I mean? There's a staleness. This is unknowable. I don't know it. And that's why this whole communication is boundless and has that energy, because it's not coming from me knowing something, telling you. I'm not speaking to you. There's just a playfulness that's not my playfulness. And it's completely irreverent. Did you notice that? Yeah. There's no reverence. And it's so gorgeously irreverent, because there's no authority, there's nobody. I started speaking, I didn't have anybody to think, am I doing a good job? Because I didn't see anybody as an authority. I didn't give a hoot what they thought of me, whether I was good, whether I was, he's not uncompromising, all this nonsense. I don't care. Why would I care? There's just talking, and that's the way any of the clear speakers are exactly the same. They don't want to meet each other for coffee or do anything. They don't give a fuck. Because why would they? Because they can see that there's no speaker there, there's no speaker here. What's the difference? There's nobody who knows anything. It's absolutely gorgeous. And there's a playfulness in this, and a reverence that's completely impersonal. So when you're taking the piss, people can sense that it's not a personal. There's no. I'm not taking the piss out of anybody. There's nobody to take the piss out of.
Mm.
And there's no meeting. I mean, that's quite obvious, isn't it?
It's obvious. There's no meeting.
I mean, there's the appearance of a meeting. Again, you could go back to say, oh, well, everything's real and unreal. It's the same thing for me. You could say it's neither real nor unreal, or you could say it's real and unreal. For me, you're saying the same thing. It doesn't matter, because if it's real and unreal, the mind can't do anything with that.
Mm.
The problem with saying that then is the individual just hears, oh, I'm real, am I? Oh, that's fine. No, did you not hear me? I said, it's totally unreal. So aliveness appeared as a meeting in Hampstead, and then it can be sensed that all there is aliveness, unconditional love. There's no meeting that started or finished. So actually what I'd been always yearning for, completely, totally, and utterly inescapable, because that's all there is. So I thought about the meeting. Is it liking the meeting, not liking the meeting, driving away from the meeting? What's there to drive away from? It's just a story. There's no, and then that's why there's nothing asked. There's nothing needed. So there's no need to come back to another meeting. There's nothing to be done. I really sell myself out of a job here, don't I? Oh, by the way, I'm in London in 3 months' time, so if you do feel like my marketing guy is just killing me. He's like, Kenneth, you're killing me. You're fucking killing me. You're killing me. You keep telling him there's no need to come to another meeting. As if I've got a marketing guy. What did you say? When? Oh, yeah. I would say watch the website, but it's not updated very often. Yeah. No, I'm feeling the love. I'll be back, don't worry. Apparently. I have no idea what's going to happen. And nobody has any idea what's going to happen. Appear to happen.
Hiya, Kenneth.
Ryan, you're back.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I actually said I wasn't going to come back, but you actually did a reverse psychology thing on me. So then that's why I came back.
You caught me.
Yeah, so don't listen to him, guys. He's not as innocent as he is.
I told him I wasn't coming back, and he reversed psychology me, and he said, well, you're not coming back, and you're not coming back, and that tricked me into coming back. You got me. Don't believe a word of it. Run for your lives. Anyway, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh, God.
But seriously, this is my last meeting, Kenneth.
Well, it's been nice knowing you. And I wish you all the best with your life.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, you're a wonderful person. And I'm all the better for having met you. And I hope everything works out for you.
Appreciate it.
Kind of embarrassing now to come back now after that, such a heartfelt.
I know.
you'd say, "Oh, Kenneth, I know we had that moment and it was so lovely, but I think I'm back."
I'll light a candle for you, Kenneth.
Oh, that's lovely, Ryan. That's gorgeous. That does my heart good now. That'll make all the difference.